Welcome back, one and all. Thank you for joining us here on Gameyaaad TV for another video. In this video, we will be looking on the predicted 11 for the first test match between Australia and West Indies in this fuller energy home series here in the West Indies. The two teams will be vying for the Frank Worrell Trophy. Now, do you know it has been 10 years since the Australians have played here in the West Indies? The last time they were here in 2015, the Australians, they would have beaten the West Indies 2-0 in that two-test series. Now, I think there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the start of this test cycle. On the West Indies side, the fans are very disgruntled because there are a lot of controversies surrounding the squad. A lot of people are saying they can't understand why, Jason Mohammed could not have gotten a look in, having scored in excess of 500 runs in the West Indies Test Championship, and also Joshua Da Silva. And Jason Mohammed would have scored even a double century in the championship. Joshua Da Silva would have scored 3 centuries back to back, and he would have scored in excess of 500 runs in the West Indies Championship as well. Kemar Roach, others are saying they can't understand how Kemar Roach did not make the cut. In terms of Ali Catanese, Kevin Hodge, they were just thrown aside, and so the controversies continue. But we have to support the squad that the head coach would have selected, and I think by now we are at the business end of the series. The series will start in a day time, right? So we have to just put those controversies to bed for now, and then we just give full support to the team or to the squad that was selected by the head coach. And on the Australian side, we know that Steve Smith would have been injured, and also Marnus Labuschagne, who have been under the microscope in the Australian media for a while now, has been dropped from this first test. So with all that being said, I think we are in for a belter of a game. I believe that this first test match will be it's a lot of things a lot of unknowns. There are new players in the squad. We don't know how they will adapt to the conditions in Barbados for this first test. The last time West Indies and Australia would have played in Barbados was that test in 2012 from April 7 to 11, right, where Australia would have won by 3 wickets. West Indies would have batted first, and they would have posted 449 for 9 declare. Australia in reply would have made 406 for 9 declare, and West Indies batting a second time were stiddled out for 148, and Australia would have made 192 for 7. The player of the match would have been Ryan Harris, 2 for 83 in the first innings, and in the second innings he would have made 68 not out and 3 for 31. In terms of the pitch in Barbados, for the first 2 days, the pitch normally is very fresh and hard, and it generally give good bounce to the seam bowler. So it's normally for day 1 and 2 give some bounce for this seam bowlers, and also the seam bowlers would get some lateral movements of the pitch. And so in the early part of the game, it would be generally dominated by seam bowling, and then on day 3 and 4 the surface would normally get a bit flattened depending on the weather If there are a lot of sun, then the moisture, would have been in the pitch would be dried out, and day 3 and 4 would be good for batting. Right, the spinners start to get a little bit of grip from the surface on day 3 and 4. But when it comes to day 5, the pitch generally deteriorates, badly, and so the spinners will be, more dominant on day 5. Right, so it's very difficult to bat, on this pitch second. So person who win the toss, depending on the weather condition, they will, bat or bowl first. So I suspect that Australia will continue with. I mean, they have a nucleus of players that they generally play, and you expect them to play. But I think my player to watch in this Test series for the Australian is Travis Head. Travis Head is a very destructive batter. Generally bats at number 5. Right, we would have seen, because Australia, have been having some, opening issues. I think when they went to Sri Lanka, Travis Head would have, batted at the top of the innings with Usman Khawaja, but it didn't work out, and so in the World Test Championship he was, placed back at number 5. Right, so I don't see Australia moving Travis Head from number 5. He is very destructive, and he can take the game away from you in a session, and that's how destructive he is. So he is one to watch. And also Usman Khawaja, even though he may not be, in the best of form right now. Remember, he made a, double century in Sri Lanka, but he did not make, much runs in the World Test Championship cycle. But the thing about Usman Khawaja, if he gets in, he generally makes big 100. So West Indies will need to, be very, aggressive to Usman Khawaja at the top. We know that, he likes to start very slow, and then he start to push on later in the inning. So we have to, be very aggressive in this first test. So the other players to watch in this, Australian lineup would be the bowlers. This is generally a world-class bowling attack, right? Mitchell Starc, Josh Hazlewood, Pat Cummins, and Nathan Lyon will be very, very important on day 5, right? Depending on who bat first, right? So it's gonna be a very tough challenge, especially Ruston Chase just being named captain, and very tough test up front. But I expect the West Indies to put up a great challenge. I just hope that West Indies will hit the ground running. Don't want to see them coming in this first test undercooked, because in this first test we have a very good chance of getting a result from this test match, given the fact that Steve Smith and Marnus Labuschagne, who generally they are the spine of this Australian batting lineup, right? So I expect Ruston Chase to be very aggressive in this first test, and I think the players on the West Indies side to watch, in my estimation, would be these newcomers. They are very aggressive. As you know, they play white ball cricket, so it's gonna be interesting to see what would be the role of John Campbell. I suspect John Campbell will be the aggressor at the top of the innings, with Craig Brathwaite playing a more anchoring role for us there. Casey Carty, I expect him to play his natural game. He generally start very slowly, and then he start to pick up further on in the innings. Number 4, in terms of Shea Hope, I expect him to be an anchor, as well as to be the aggressor if needs be in that middle order there. In terms of Brandon King, I expect him to play a similar role as Travis Head in the Australian team. Very aggressive in the middle there. and try to, put pressure on the bowlers consistently. And I expect Ruston Chase to play his natural game, be, the glue between, the top order and the middle order. So another player to watch, I think Jaden Seals would be, it will be very important for us in this series. He has been our best red ball bowler, and I expect him to continue in that vein. Now, with that, said, I'm going to be, just going through the possible 11, and this is Gameyaaad TV opinion, right? This is not, the 11 that Cricket West Indies or Australia would have published. This is just Gameyaaad TV looking on the two squads and coming up with a possible starting 11 for both teams. Now, as it relates to Australia, I expect Usman Khawaja and Sam Kansas to open the batting. Right, as I said, Kansas, he's a young player. We would have seen that, that Boxing Day test back in Australia against India, where he came out gun blazing. He would have made an half century also in that, test match, ramping, a reverse ramping Bumrah for a boundary. Right, so I expect him to, be, very flamboyant and very expressive, very aggressive at the top. Right, so as I said, Jaden Seals and our other four fast bowlers will need to be, very, very, very on point with our line and length and very aggressive. Right, number 3 for Australia, I expect Josh Inglis to slot in there in place of Marnus Labuschagne. Number 4, Cameron Green. I believe that this is the best, place for Cameron Green to bat, and he would have proven that in the past already, having played in that position against the West Indies and also New Zealand series. Now, in terms of number 5, it's a no-brainer. Travis Head would be at number 5. Number 6 would be Bo Webster. I think he was one of the best players in the World Test Championship for Australia. Number 7 would be wicketkeeper Alex Carey, right? Alex Carey can be a very destructive batter as well when he gets in. Number 8 would be Pat Cummins, captain. Number 9 would be Mitchell Starc. Number 10, Nathan Lyon, and number 11 would be Josh Hazlewood. Right, so that's a predicted 11 for the Australian team. Now let's jump over to West Indies. Before we get into the predicted 11 for the West Indies, I just want to say this before. Darren Sammy would have, made an effort to get John Campbell, Brandon King, and Shea Hope back in the West Indies Test squad. In fact, Brandon King has never played Test cricket, but he has been playing the white ball format, and he was, selected. Darren Sammy would have convinced him, I believe, to play Test cricket. So, if the effort that he would have put in to get these players in the Test lineup, I don't think that he will bring them in to have them sit on the bench. I believe that these 3 players will be in our starting 11 for this first test in Barbados. So I believe that Sammy will open with Craig Brathwaite and John Campbell at the top. John Campbell will play the role similar to Constance with very aggressive, and while Craig Brathwaite will be playing the more anchoring role similar to Usman Khawaja. In terms of number 3, it will be Casey Carty. Casey Carty has been in scintillating form in the white ball format, and one may argue that form in white ball cricket is not the same in red ball cricket, and that's a fair argument, right? But as I said, Darren Sammy would have said white ball players to him is not different from red ball players. So once you are in form, he will select you. Now, the thing with the white ball will swing for probably about 1 or 2 overs or 3 overs maximum. right? While the Duke red ball will swing once the condition is right. It will swing for a longer period, or you will get lateral movement of the pitch for a longer period. So that's why Test cricket is kind of more difficult to bat, especially when the conditions are suited for seam bowling. Now, AC Carty will be slotted at number 3, playing an anchoring role as well. Number 4 would be Shea Hope, and I think Shea Hope being in the side will be a very difficult task because Tevin Imlach has been playing, really good. I think he was, excellent with the gloves in Pakistan, and he was, the winner of the West Indies Championship as captain, and he was really good with the gloves as well in that championship. So it will be, very difficult. It will be a very difficult decision there to be made by Darren Sammy. He was also the wicket keeper in the 18 match as well. So let us see what will happen. If Darren Sammy will want to keep Tevin Imlach in the squad or in the team, I believe that probably Brandon King will miss out, right? Because I don't see him dropping Justin Greaves, and Ruston Chase is our captain, right? So I think the only player it will be between Brandon King or Shea Hope who will not get to play if Darren Sammy keeps Tevin Imlach in the 11. But for me at Gameyaaad TV, I will play Shea Hope. Given the fact that Shea Hope haven't played Test cricket for over 4 years, and Darren Sammy would have convinced him to return to the team. It doesn't make sense to get him into the team and put him on the bench. That just doesn't make sense, right? So for my number 5, it would be Brandon King, and Brandon King will play a similar role to what Travis Head will play for the Australian team, right? Very aggressive and seek to put a lot of pressure back onto the bowlers, right? Justin Greaves would be at my number 6. Justin Greaves will help out in the bowling department as well. Justin Greaves would have made 57 in the 18 match, that second unofficial test against the South Africa 18. My number 7 now would be Ruston Chase, right? I guess Ruston Chase and Justin Greaves can interchange depending on the nature of the game or the nature of the innings, right? Number 8 would be Alzari Joseph. Number 9 would be Jamel Warrican. My number 10 would be Jaden Seals. And we have a decision to make between Anderson Phillips and also Shamar Joseph. I believe that Shamar Joseph has not been bowling really well. I looked on him, and in the second unofficial test against the South Africa 8, and he was not in good rhythm. His figures would have been 1 for 78 and 2 for 40 in that second unofficial test. For me, I will be going with Anderson Phillips in this first test, and I'm going to share with you why I would have selected Anderson Phillips. Right, Anderson Phillips would have taken 5 for 67 in that first inning of the second unofficial test, with economy of 2.75, and he would have taken none for 15 in the second innings of that second unofficial test against the South Africa 18. Anderson Phillips would have been playing in the Division 2 of the championship in England for Lancashire. During that time, he would have taken 10 wickets, and his best figures would have been 3 for 51. He would have taken 10 wickets in the West Indies Championship as well. With those performances, I would give Anderson Phillips the edge over Shamar Joseph in this first test. I know that you may have difference of opinion where these teams are concerned, so you can go down in the comment section and share your thoughts down there. I am just going to quickly recap the predicted 11 for Australia. Will be Sam Constas and Usman Khawaja. Number 3 would be Josh English. Number 4 would be Cameron Green. Number 5 would be Travis Head. Number 6 would be Bo Webster. Number 7 would be Alex Carey. Number 8 would be Pat Cummins. Number 9 would be Mitchell Stark. Number 10 would be Nathan Lyon. And number 11 will be Josh Hazelwood. Now, for West Indies, number 1, we will go with Craig Brathwaite and John Campbell at the top. Casey Carty at number 3. Number 4 would be Shea Hope. Number 5 would be Brandon King. Number 6 would be Justin Graves. Number 7 would be Ruston Chase. Number 8 would be Alzari Joseph. Number 9 would be Jamel Warwick. And number 10 would be Jaden Seay. And number 11 would be Anderson Phillips. Please share your thoughts and comments down in the comment section. Thank you so much for joining us here on Gameyaaad TV. Have yourself a wonderful day and best of luck to the West Indies. I believe that West Indies has a chance in this first test. I really don't want to see West Indies coming into this first test undercooked. Right? We have a great chance given that Marnus Labuschagne and Steve Smith are not, in this first test. So we have a great chance. We need to make 300 runs in both innings and we should be able to take 20 wickets. If you agree with me, share your thoughts down in the comment section. If you disagree, share your thoughts nonetheless. Thank you so much for watching us here on Gameyaaad TV and best of luck to the West Indies team. God bless.